Rowan of the Shadow Wolf Squad. He has survived as an active combatant for over 20 years in the White Labyrinth, accumulating vast combat experience. Whether it's against people, monsters, or demonized dungeons, even regular dungeons were familiar to him. But now, as he sees Mord, he gets surprised, as Mord found a ruin without any prior information. Mord headed toward a rural village near the border. Suddenly, he chanted a spell in the village hall basement, and a passage leading to the ruins appeared before him. Rion wonders if Mord had informations about this ruins. He also thinks that the older the ruin, the more cautious one must be of traps, but Mord breaks through all the traps with sheer strength. Mord then goes inside and stands in front of a pillar, and he tells all of them that from here on, their roles will be crucial. They asked Mord what he meant by roles. From now on, attacks will come from 4 directions. Please block them well, Mord replies. He then touches the pillar and says that light circles will appear on the floor from time to time. At that time, at least one person must be inside the circle. Otherwise, defending will become more difficult. The Shadow Wolf members are so confused, they asked Mord that what he is talking about. At that time, from the 2 portals, magic golems starts to appear and rushed towards them. The magic circle on the floor also appeared. Rion is so mesmerized seeing that everything is happening just as Mord said. Time is short. Mord can't visit every ruin and dungeon, but by optimizing the route to the north, he must obtain everything he can. The golems are taken down easily, and Mord and his team gets at the center of the ruin. Leon finds a nectar. Leon is very happy as Mord has given the nectar for him. Drink Lowen asked, "That isn't nectar is something that only appears in myths, yes." Unlike the counterfeits created in wicked ways with silver blood, this is a genuine one made during the mythic era, Mord replies. He then thinks that this is the reason that the silver blood attacked Aiden's family, because modern nectar is made from unawakened divine blood as a sacrificial offering. Now, out of the 5 Mord know of, 2 have been used. Mord has to think about how to use the 3rd one that can be obtained in the north. Leon's lacking talents have been supplemented by nectar. He should be able to reach the level of a master soon. Nair asked that where to next? A ruin? A dungeon? Mord reply no, and says that this time the task is trash cleanup. After that, we can see that a guy is beating a group of men. The men offered him money and requests him to leave them alone. The yellow-haired guy is holding a knife and is drawing something on the ground. After finishing his drawing, he tells the man that if he wants money, he can get tons of it without their help. But the reason he is doing this is for sacrificial offering. Hearing this, the men tremble in fear. The yellow-haired boy then claps his hand and the magic circle on the ground lights up and the group of man vanishes in thin air. Seeing this, the yellow-haired man gets happy, as from this offering he get a ball of mana. This boy's name is Amit. He is one of the 9 god candidates of Prexaras. In this world, there are many secret organizations, but Prexaras has the simplest goal of them all: becoming a god. Prexaras is both the name of the group and the name of a relic left behind by an ancient god. The relic chooses 9 god candidates and grants them power whenever they offer valuable sacrifices. The sacrifices varied: living humans, humans of special bloodlines, strong humans, humans with high magic power and divine blood. After performing the sacrificial offering, Amit gets back to his home. As he enters, he sees that no one is there. Then a voice comes to his ears which says, "What were you doing outside to be this late?" Amit looks up and sees Mord. He asked Mord that who is he and what he did to his employees. "I killed them both. They were eating human flesh. They even set up a human butcher shop in the basement," Mord says. Upon hearing this, Amit looks at Mord angrily and asks that if he is sent by another god candidate. As you live, unexpected tragedies tend to come your way. In your life that just happened to be today, Mord says this while looking down on Amit from the second floor. As Mord says this, his teammates also come and stands by his side. Nair, every time I close my eyes, that horrific moment comes back to life. The metallic scent of blood spreads through the rain, the screams echoing through the village. Farewell, you must survive. Now back to the present. Mord and his team has cornered Amit. His one hand is cut off, and it starts to regenerate. Leon gets frustrated and asked Amit that what kind of a monster is he that even after getting beaten for 1 hour start, he is still able to regenerate. Nair looks at Amit from behind. He gets that he is unable to compete with his monster, who has incredible regeneration speed. Mord then asks Nair if this is his enemy. Nair shakes his head and says, yes. Hearing this, Mord tells Nair that he will leave his fate in Nair's hands, as he has spent all his strength, so he'll be easy to handle. Nair gets it and starts to walk towards Amit. As he gets closer, he says, Amit, was it? I have many questions for you. Please don't die easily. On this day, one of the 9 god candidates of Prexarus vanished. And then time passed. Mord's party arrives at the White Labyrinth. On their way to the labyrinth, the group destroyed the 3rd of the Arch-Lich Lord's 7 souls, leaving a total of 4 remaining souls. The Dark Sage attacked one of the main branches, the Count of Hooven's territory, delivering a significant blow to the Dark Sage. They also acquired additional shards of the world, bringing the total number of shards to 13. At the same time, in the Count of Hooven's territory, a guy in red robes come, and by seeing the scene, he gets mad and shouts, "Who the hell did this?" As Mord has reached the White Realm, he goes to meet up with Ilen. Seeing him, Ilen says that he is faster than he expected. Mord says hello to General Ilen and says thanks for sending the reinforcements. Mord then says that the gap in power was too great before. Even during their 20 days of sparring, Ilen never once went all out. So Mord tells Ilen to show him his full power right now. Upon hearing this, Ilen gets up and crashed the stone table with his hand. He then says that it must have been a forced march. I'd like to let you rest today, but since you insist, I suppose I have no choice. Let's see what you've achieved so far. After that, 2 of them gets to the White Labyrinth training hall. After going there, Ilen removes his cedar and says that, unlike the Grand Castle, here he don't have to worry about prying eyes, so he tells Mord to go wild from the start. Mord gets that there is no pint holding back, so he decides to go all out from the start. Mord rushed towards Ilen while unleashing his Divine Blood stage. 2. Ilen blocks the attack and laughs, saying that Mord has already reached this stage. Ilen gets that Mord is surpassing the current Grand Duke's genius-like talent. Mord rushed towards Ilen. Ilen is being pushed back. Seeing this, Mord thinks that he can defeat Ilen. He then unleashed a powerful blow. As Ilen blocks it, a huge shock wave creates due to their immense powers. The whole building trembles due to this shock wave. Keel and the others wonders that what the hell the 2 of them are doing. Ilen starts to fight back and Mord is getting pushed back. Mord then thinks that, since he is fighting a human, the fanatical body is meaningless. In that case, Mord decides of increasing body weight tenfold with the warrior's body and activating the world shard. As Mord is about to attack, he tells Ilen to give his all, or he might really die. Ilen laughs hearing this. After that, Mord lands the attack on Ilen. The ground of the training ground gets completely shattered. Ilen blocked the attack and he is unscratched. Ilen laughs and says that he really can't believe it. Even experiencing it firsthand, he still can't believe it, to think Mord would force him into this form. Ilen has unleashed his Divine Blood Stage 3. Divine Blood Unleashed, Stage 3. Unlike Stages 1 and 2, this stage directly envelops the body with divine power. Ilen then tells Mord that he don't know how he did it, but he has increased his weight. Mord also says that the same goes for him. It doesn't seem overwhelmingly intimidating in appearance, but it feels like your weight has doubled. You must have tapped into the power of the warrior's body, even if only slightly. As of now, only Leon and I possess the power of the warrior's body in this world. The warrior's body is so advanced that even Ilen in stage 3 of divine blood can barely draw it out. If Ilen had fully acquired the power, its effects wouldn't be this limited. While Mord is lost in his thought, Ilen tells that he only mastered this power after reaching stage 3 of divine blood, but Mord seemed to wield it with much greater ease. Mord asked Ilen that if he desire this power. "What? You're speaking as if you could grant that power if I wanted it," Ilen says. Mord says that he can. Upon hearing this, Ilen gets shocked, and he asked Mord that is he saying. Mord then says that under his guidance, he will be able to master this power, but of course he can't teach it for free. Ilen asked Mord that what is his demand. Mord says that he wants 2 things from him. First is sincerity. Sincerity, what do you mean? Ilen wonders. No beating around the bush. Let's be open and talk about what's truly on our minds, Mord replies. Hearing this, Ilen starts to think. Mord wants the sincerity of Ilen because the sincerity of Ilen, which even the 3-poison demon couldn't draw out, and he is curious about Ilen's story. Mord then says that the other thing he wants is to give him Keel. What? Keel? Haha. You speak as if asking a father for his daughter's hand. You don't want Rowan? Ilen asked. I don't need a sly old man, Mord replies. Ilen then says that does it have to be Kyle? He was just following his orders when he helped Emrod. Just because it was someone's order doesn't mean that risking his life is any less valuable, so I'll be taking Kyle with me, Mord says. Perhaps you value Keel more than anyone else in the world. You can take Keel. I was planning on creating a team head anyway. Ilen says this to Mord. Mord gets a bit confused and asked Ilen that how is he going to make his own team as he has just joined and he is also an intermediate warrior. Ilen tells Mord that it would be stupid to leave him at the intermediate rank within the Legion. Ilen then turns around and tells Mord to follow him as they will have to discuss this matter in private. After that, the 2 of them goes to Ilen's office and takes their seats. Ilen then shows the photos of Mord's teammates. Seeing this, Mord didn't have a reaction as he expected this. And these guys are the only ones Mord could consider taking into his team. The first member is Keel. The second one is Leon, who has been with him for a while. And the last member is Farwell Nair. While eating cookies, Ilen tells Mord that Farwell seemed to be pretty obedient to him, and it's always nice to have a mage on the team. Ilen also says that he wanted to help Farwell grow stronger by his side. But he was worried because his desire for revenge was too intense. Ilen smiles and says that it's a good thing that this mage likes Mord. He then leaves this topic and asked Mord that what did he find out from this journey of his. Mord replies that he know that the Archduke is a monster who eats his own children to maintain his youth. He also tells Ilen that he has shared this information with Erna, and now she also knows about it. If you told Erna the truth, that must mean that you considered her someone worthy of becoming the future Archduke. Do you believe that she can surpass the Archduke? Ilen asked. Mord says that he does believe that she is worthy of becoming the next Archduke. However, whether or not she can surpass the Archduke is irrelevant, because he is going to be the one to kill the Archduke. Mord also says that he also know that Ilen wished to bring down the Archduke, and that Ilen is searching for someone who is willing to fight the Demon King's incarnation once a year in order to protect the seal. Mord says that he assumed that that's why Ilen is helping him. How do you know that? Only a very few know about this, because it's sealed by an oath of divine punishment. Ilen asked Mord. Mord replies that the power of divine within him told him about this. Mord chooses to be bold as if he tells Ilen about the details. Obviously, he wouldn't believe it. Ilen is shocked. He asked Mord that what did he mean. Mord didn't reply. He tells Ilen that it's his turn to ask the questions. Mord then asked Ilen that why did he wants to kill the Archduke? Is the fact that Hardin took both my eyes as well as my position as the Archduke away from me not enough? Ilen asked. Mord says no and tells Ilen that he has to face the Archduke with his life on the line for him, so he would like to know the truth at the very least. Hearing this, Ilen stays silent for a bit and thinks deeply. After a while, he agrees to tell Mord the story of what happened between Hardin and him. After that, late at night, we can see that at the Archduke's office, the Archduke is doing some paperwork. In the room, he was alone. Suddenly, he speaks up and says, "That have you come to make up excuses for your uselessness?" We can see that there is a shadow floating in front of Hardin. From the shadow, a voice comes, and it seeks the permission of the Archduke to stand in front of him. The Archduke permits it. After that, from the shadow, a yellow-haired man appears. The man says hello to Hardin and introduces him. He says that he is a 20-tier executive of the Blood of Silver's 8 stars, and his name is Killian. Seeing him, the Archduke says that he is envious. Killian asked what he means by this. The Archduke replies that his exterior appears so youthful despite the old monster that lies within. Killian laughs and says that it's embarrassing. Killian also looks at Hardin and thinks that, in order to maintain this kind of youth, one need to have a very high level of magic. One need to transcend way above the 9th circle. Killian wonders if the divinity of Vernars was always this powerful. Hardin then asked Killian that what he wants. Killian replies that he wants to apologize for his failure. Killian says that when he heard that Mord was Ilen's favorite, he should have known to prepare himself more thoroughly, but he did not. Hearing this, Hardin says that it took Mord a while to reach the north as well, and it looks like he overestimated Killian's skills. Killian lowers his head and says that he sincerely apologizes, and to make up for his failure, he had prepared something. Saying this, Killian takes out a fancy bottle and tells Archduke that this is nectar. Nectar is called the drink of the gods in legends. It has the ability to reinforce the power of the divine blood within. Killian says that it's usually watered down and given to their members as a reward, but since it's to express his apology, this is the pure concentrate. Killian hands over the nectar to Archduke and says that he wants to ask for a favor. Archduke asked, "What is it?" "Please permit us to directly intervene in the north to kill Mord," Killian says. Hearing this, Archduke asked Killian, "That does he realize what that means? He might have to fight Ilen if he goes there." Killian replies that he is completely aware of this. All of the Archdukes in the past have been wary of the Gatekeeper legend. This is because the White Demon realm and Principality of Vernars are far from each other, making it hard to assert their dominance over the legend. It might have been better if the general had been someone loyal to the Archduke. But currently, it's Ilen, and he considers the Archduke an enemy. After thinking for a while, Hardin permits Killian. After that, Killian starts to leave and says that he will see him again soon. As Killian is about to leave, Hardin stops him and tells him to answer this to him before he go. Hardin says that he assumed that he wasn't the first one to work with them. So he wants to know who were the first ones. Killian says, "That's not a difficult question." Before they allied with Hardin, the person they worked with years ago was Ilen Vernars. Back to Mord and Ilen. Ilen starts to tell Mord about his and Hardin's story. If Ilen was considered a genius, then Hardin would have been considered a monster. Ilen learned to open his divine blood at the age of 16, but Hardin had learned to do it by the age of 15, not even half a year after he awakened. Ilen. Congratulations, Hardin, for his achievement, as it didn't bother him. Ilen believed that he would become the Archduke anyway if he just focused on his own duties. But that was just the beginning. The deeds of Hardin spread like wildfire. People talked about how he quickly finished his demonification missions, and he has gone to the 8 Great Labyrinth. People starts to call him the reincarnation of the god of combat. Divine blood development, aura, all the things Ilen had earned with his blood, sweat, and tears, Hardin earned with ease, as if they were nothing. However, what sealed the deal was when Hardin was picked as the representative for the duel between the Sar Kingdom and the Urfin Empire. The opponent had chosen the Ortis household as their representative, and the Empire had chosen the Vernar's household as its representative. Because the Ortis household had been Werner's rival for a very long time, the result of this duel was going to have a big impact on their image for dozens, if not hundreds, of years to come. The Sar Kingdom had dominion over the west of the continent, and the Urfin Empire had dominion over the east. The conflict that had occurred in the gray area led to a war. However, the two did not wish for a big war. They decided that they would decide the results of the war by choosing 5 warriors as representatives to fight for each nation. If the winner of a duel wished to, they were allowed to continue fighting and face the next opponent as well. In the end, it became Hardin's stage. No one was able to last more than 5 minutes in a fight against Hardin. After that, everyone in the continent knew who Hardin was. Ilen became anxious, as if things continued like this, he was going to end up having his position as successor stolen from him. That's when the blood of silver came to Ilen. Upon hearing this, Mord asked Ilen that if he made a contract with them. Ilen replies, yes, and says that the blood of Sliver said that they would make him the successor. In return for helping them, Ilen was promised something called the nectar. Ilen says that he accepted the Silver Blood's offer, and he didn't mind their goal of creating a world where only those of divine blood rule. That was just the norm for someone of the Vernar's bloodline. But the problem was when Ilen found out the secret of the nectar. Ilen sees the way the blood of silver makes the nectar. He gets shocked and asked the executive of Blood of Sliver that what the hell are they doing? There needs to be sacrifices for the greater good. Their divine blood is too weak. They are no use to this world. Don't you think that they should be happy to be of help to us? The executive of the Sliver Blood says this of Ilen. The nectar was made through the sacrifices of the innocent. Ilen didn't like this, and he punched the man right in the face. Ilen had become an accomplice to their crime without knowing it. He killed all of the members of the Blood of Silver that were present there. That's what began the ill-fated relationship between them. After that, the Blood of Silver tried to interfere with whatever Ilen tried to do, and behind his back, they helped Hardin become the successor. Seeing this continue, Ilen decided to make a choice. He requested Hardin for the god of combat's spirit. That was Ilen's last struggle after losing in the succession battle. It was a challenge he had no reason to accept. Hardin gladly accepted the challenge, and in the end, Hardin come out victorious. Like a true warrior, Hardin did not avoid the challenge. Ilen lost in front of everyone, and Hardin became the Archduke. Hardin then asked Ilen to be in charge of the Gatekeeper Legion, but Ilen don't think of this as an act of pity. Hardin gave him a chance to get out of an environment where everyone would whisper about him. During the duel, at least, they recognized each other as worthy rivals. Ilen was able to escape the pressure of the family and the Blood of Silver to become a warrior. Nothing more, nothing less. It was peaceful for a while. Ilen believed that everything had worked out, but the Archduke began to age suddenly and rapidly without a known cause, and the Blood of Silver used that chance to get in contact with Hardin. Unlike Ilen, Hardin chose to work with them despite knowing what they did. The Blood of Silver used his obsession with his role to manipulate him. In the end, Hardin truly came to believe that he was the only one who could protect the seal of the Demon King and became a monster that justified his own cruel actions. Ilen couldn't let Hardin be manipulated by those cruel bastards anymore. That's when Ilen began searching for hope, someone with the potential to bring down Hardin. someone who would retake the freedom of the Werner's family and Harden. Hearing all of this, Mord gets that Ilen didn't want to kill Harden for his position, but he has a righteous cause for that. Mord wondered that if this is the reason everyone trusts and are loyal to him. Mord then thanks Ilen for sharing this story with him. He asked Ilen that if he know about something called the Stone Tablet of Postscript. Later we can see Mord is walking at the hallway. At that time, Keel comes and asked Mord that is it true that he asked Ilen if he could take him. Keel also says that General Ilen told him to stay by Mord's side, even if it meant he may face him one day. Keel wonders that what did Mord do to Ilen that made him say something like that to him? Keel then tells Mord to promise him one thing, that he will grant General Ilen's one wish, and if he can promise that to him, he can even sacrifice himself for him. Mord nods his head and says that he promised he is going to make Ilen's wish come true no matter what. Hearing this, Keel laughs and he starts to walk with Mord. Even at this moment, Keel had no idea of the great calamity that would come to him the next day.